Hi. Well, today we follow the number 9 of the Catechism of the Catholic Church. And we read from the Catechism that the ministry of catechesis draws ever fresh energy from the councils. These councils that are being referred to are the ecumenical councils of the church that the church called and organized throughout her history, her 2000 plus years of history. They call these meetings among the bishops of the church in order to delve into the problems of the church, the needs of the church, the needs of the people of the church. According to this point, the Council of Trent is a noteworthy example of this. This council was held in the 16th century. That's about 5 centuries ago. It gave catechesis priority in its constitutions and decrees. This was especially the case because of the circumstances of the time, namely the Protestant Reformation. Martin Luther, John Calvin, and company introduced a different understanding of the usual concepts in the faith of the church. Words differed in meaning and they had to be clarified. For example, they removed of the 7 sacraments, 3 remained. And well, there was confusion. There was a danger of deformation in the people of God. That's why the church stepped up and held this council to combat this danger. And this council gave forth the famous Catechism of the Council of Trent. When I was a young student in the University of the Philippines for college, I recall reading this catechism. It was the authoritative document in the church at that time regarding faith and morals. Saint John Paul II had not yet been in the church when I was in college early on, but he was elected just a few months after I entered the university, and he came up with another catechism, an updated version of the Catechism of the Catholic Church, and that's what we are commenting on. Anyway, the point says it gave, this is the Council of Trent, gave catechesis priority in its constitutions and decrees. It lies at the origin of the Roman Catechism, which is also known by the name of that council, and which is a work of the first rank as a summary of Christian teaching. The Council of Trent initiated a remarkable organization of the Church's catechesis. Thanks to the work of holy bishops and theologians, such as Saint Peter Canisius, Saint Charles Borromeo. I remember a classmate of mine in San Carlos, University of San Carlos Boys High School, who had this name, exactly this name. Saint Torribius of Mogrovejo, or Saint Robert Bellarmine. Saint Robert Bellarmine was a standout among them. He became the cardinal in charge of the Holy Office at that time. The Holy Office became the congregation of the doctrine of the faith in the late 20th century. Well, I don't know exactly when it changed the name. What I was going to say was that Pope Benedict the 16th, who was at that time Cardinal Ratzinger, was appointed by Saint John Paul II as the head of this dicastery. And he held that dicastery for the longest time until he was elected Pope. And Robert Bellarmine was an important pillar in the church in this matter of catechizing, of putting down on paper the content of the faith. Everybody had no problems with the matters of faith, but another thing is to codify it, put it down, and with precise language and not so um, high sounding words that nobody would understand. So the normal laity should be able to understand. Although at that time, not there were not too many people who were literate, but all the same, the church wanted to define by faith important points regarding the definition of of the sacraments, each of the sacraments, because the Protestant Reformation was trying to empty what the church had been preaching for 15 or so centuries since the time of Christ. Imagine that the Holy Scriptures was pared down. They removed certain books and certain parts of the sacred scriptures in order to support their claims in the Protestant Reformation. There was that big debate about faith and works, that faith without works is faith that is dead. Of course, we are saved by our faith in Jesus Christ. But for that faith to be authentic, for it to be alive, it has to be translated into works of charity. In that way, you can see his faith. You can see the faith of the person concerned. So in the scriptures, Saint James, who wrote a letter and is included in the canon of scriptures. Canon refers to the official list of inspired books included in the sacred scriptures that the church put together. And they removed it because it would not support their claims among the Protestants. And to end this commentary for this point, thanks to the work of the holy bishops and theologians, it occasioned the publication of numerous catechisms. The Catechism of the Council of Trent became the gold standard for all catechisms that were printed and published, already adjusted for each place, because they had to translate this language it was written in to other languages, and then because of the differences in culture, they had to reword things in such a way that could be understood. And but the gold standard, the model of all catechisms, became the Council of Trent. I mean, the Catechism of the Council of Trent, or maybe better known as the Roman Catechism. So that's why for all of us, we have to study. It would be very good and important, crucial even for our faith and apostolate, to study the Catechism of the Catholic Church, especially this edition, this one that we have, that St. John Paul II had commissioned to be made, because it is so rich, so rich with quotations from sacred scriptures, from ancient documents and authors in the church, that we can use this document for our prayer, to nourish our faith, to encourage us in our hope, and to enkindle the fire of our charity. Buy one, have one, ready for consultations, and in fact, even to read it regularly, from beginning to end, and again, from beginning to end, cyclically. Anyway, thank you for listening, and bye for now. Until next time. Bye.